Is Tuesday, 10th of December 2024. 10th December is celebrated as Human Rights Day, which is observed worldwide every year on December 10. It marks the date when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights (UDHR) in 1948. Now from the world news, including as Israel moves into Syrian buffer zone, it seeks risks and opportunities. United States says a terror designation does not hinder talks with the Syrian rebel group. Assault electoral question: how Syria's prisoners expose Bashar al-Assad regime's brutality. Syrian rebels free prisoners from Assad's prison, sparking celebrations in the Damascus. Airline offering $1 lakh incentive to relocate to its scenic offshore islands. Trump vows to deport illegal immigrants. Promises easier legal entry for newcomers. Now from the Hindu newspaper, states that Israeli army in Golan buffer zone violates 1974 deal. United Nations says Israeli soldiers stand near the tanks near the border with Syria on the Israeli side of the border on December 9, 2024 in Golan Heights. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced on Sunday he had ordered the army to seize the demilitarized zone in the Syrian-controlled part of the Golan Heights. Israeli troops that have moved into the buffer zone on the edge of the Israeli annexed Golan Heights constitute a violation of the 1974 disengagement agreement between Israel and Syria, a United Nations spokesman said on Monday, 9 December 2024. The United Nations peacekeeping force deployed in the Golan Heights, known as UNDOF, informed the Israeli counterpart that these actions would constitute a violation of the 1974 disengagement agreement, said Stephen Dujarric, spokesman for Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Israeli Prime Minister says won't stop Gaza war now. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel's offensive in Gaza has killed at least over 44,758 people, mostly civilians, according to the data from the Hamas-run health ministry. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Monday, December 9, 2024, he would not stop the war in Gaza now with the renewed efforts towards a ceasefire underway. Speaking at a press conference in Jerusalem, 14th months into the war against Hamas Palestinian militants, he said, if we end the war now, Hamas will return, recover, rebuild, and attack us again, and that is what we do not want to go back to. European countries suspend Syrian asylum decisions after Assad's fall. Experts rate Syrians gather the flags to celebrate the fall of the Assad regime in Syria on December 8, 2024 in Berlin, Germany. The head of the United Nations Refugee Agency also cautioned that the patience and vigilance were needed on the issue of the refugee returns. Britain, Germany, France, Italy, and several other European countries said on Monday, December 9, 2024, that they would freeze all pending asylum requests there from Syrians a day after the ouster of President Bashar al-Assad. While Berlin and other comments said they were watching the fast-moving developments in the war-ravaged nation, Australia signaled it would not soon deport refugees back to Syria. Far-right politicians elsewhere made similar demands, including in Germany, home to Europe's largest Syrian community at a time when immigration has become a hot-button issue across the continent. Now from Hindustan Times newspaper says that India brings up safety of minorities in Bangladesh. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri and Chief Advisor to Bangladesh Interim Government Muhammad Yunus during a meeting in Dhaka on Monday. New Delhi. India on Monday conveyed to Bangladesh its concerns about the safety and the welfare of minorities in that country, with the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri saying New Delhi wants to work with the interim government in Dhaka to take forward ties in a positive direction. Misri arrived in Dhaka on Monday for the annual Foreign Office consultations. With his counterpart Mohammad Jashem Uddin Ahmed, unprecedented strain in bilateral ties were the targeting of the Bangladesh's Hindu minority and the arrest of the monk Chinmay Krishnadas, a Misri, first senior Indian functionary to travel to Dhaka since the change of the government in August, also met de facto Foreign Minister Tawhid Al Hossain and caretaker administration chief Muhammad Yunus. Dhaka also sought New Delhi's cooperation for routing hydropower from Nepal and Bhutan to the Indian power grid and for repatriating 1.2 million Rohingya refugees to Myanmar. Jashimuddin said the Indian side was requested to facilitate visas for the significant number of Bangladeshi citizens who visit India every year for tourism and medical purposes. India is currently issuing only a limited number of the visas, only for the students and medical patients, as well as all visa facilities were closed because of the security situation. INS Tushil provides India-Russia collaborative powers. Rajnath. Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh posing for photographs with the Russian delegation during the commissioning ceremony of India's latest multi-role stealth-guided missile frigate INS Tushil in the Baltic port of Kaliningrad. INS Tushil, the country's latest stealth missile frigate, was on Monday commissioned into the Indian Navy at the Yantar shipyard in Kaliningrad, Russia, in the presence of the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, who described the warship as a proud testament to India's growing maritime might and a significant milestone in the long-standing friendship between the two countries. In his address at the commissioning ceremony, Singh said Russia's support to the Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India champion reflected the deep bilateral ties between the two countries. Made in India content is continuously increasing in many ships, including INS Tushil. The ship is big proof of the collaborative prowess of Russian and Indian industries. On Tuesday, Singh and his Russian counterpart Andrew Belousov will co-chair the 21st meeting of the Indian-Russian Intergovernmental Commission on Military and Military Technical Cooperation IRIGCM and MTC in Moscow to be sure the sanctions slapped on Russia by the United States and its allies after the Ukraine war delayed some projects and raised questions about the procurement of spares for existing Russian origin weapons as well as the maintenance and serving of legacy equipment. Now, from economy of the country, from the business point of view, government versus the Reserve Bank of India Governor tussle. Repeat of the same script at the fag end of Shaktikanta Das tenure. Turf wars between the two sides have played out of years as successive governors sought to protect the autonomy and independence of the central bank. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, during a press conference with the Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das, after concluding G20 financial track meeting with the Mahatma Mandir. Shaktikanta Das says 6 years at Reserve Bank of held inflation remains unfinished agenda, handle multiple domestic as well as exogenous shocks. Shaktikanta Das refrained from the granting banking license to big corporate houses aim at affairs over the connected lending and self-dealing if they are allowed to in the banking space. ID Ministry to prepare a roadmap for power supply to artificial intelligence data centers. In India, the government is looking to subsidize setting up of data centers to capitalize on the oil boom and make access to computing capacity easier for smaller entities like startups and research institutions. Data center developers in India are aiming to increase the energy efficiency, which is indicated by low power usage effectiveness. From Science and Tech, we have India questions Musk's Starlink for more clues in $4.2 billion drug smuggling case. Police have sent a legal demand to Elon Musk's Starlink, seeking details of who purchased its internet device that helped in a sea navigation of smugglers who were caught with the $4.2 billion worth of meth in the biggest such Indian seizure. The incident has set off alarm bells as it is the first time Starlink's device has been used to navigate and reach Indian waters in a major drug haul. Police have sent a legal demand to Elon Musk's Starlink seeking details of who purchased it as internet device that helped in the sea navigation of the smugglers who were caught with a $4.2 billion worth of meth in the biggest South Indian sewer. Two people with the direct knowledge of the police note sent by Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Officials said Starlink had been asked for the purchaser's name and payment method, registration details, and where the internet device was used when smugglers traveled in the international waters from Myanmar to India. Antimatter ideas for scientists clue to cracking cosmic mystery. The electrodes called for a panning trap being inserted into a vacuum chamber and cryostat assembly. This setup is used to mix anti-electrons and antiprotons to make anti-hydrogen at the alpha experiment at CERN. If the universe started off with the equal amounts of matter and antimatter, why has all the antimatter gone? One of the most astonishing facts about the natural world is the existence of antiparticles. Theorized by the English physicist Paul A.M. Dirac in 1928 and observed in cosmic rays by American physicist Carl Anderson in 1932. An antiparticle is a partner of a particle type that has the same mass but opposite charge. For example, the anti-electron is anti-particle of the electron. It has the same mass and is positively charged. Antiparticles are an inevitable consequence of describing the world in terms of the quantum mechanics and special relativity. An antiparticle is a particle traveling backward in the time. This is not an oversimplification. If it sounds awry, that is because it is. In the end of the TB strategy, the other grave forms of tuberculosis are out of focus. The Mycobacterium tuberculosis (MTB) is the main causative agent of the tuberculosis and illness contracted via airborne route. Lung or pulmonary tuberculosis receives a greater attention than other forms of TB. However, manifestations of TB are protein. And the seriousness and the prevalence of some forms which are loosely conflated into the one term EBTB or extrapulmonary tuberculosis cannot overlooked. In the January month of 2021, SA, the middle of the three siblings, a bright adolescent in the slums of Howrah, aspired to clear her class 12 exam soon and start earning for the family. Her father was a head loader and her mother a daily wage worker. When SA fell sick with a fever, vomiting, and headaches, she was shunted from pillar to post, treated for typhoid for 6 months until she landed in the tuberculosis hospital, where she was diagnosed with the TB of the brain. By now, she had lost her speech, cognizance, and limb function. Her permanent disability left her family devastated. In the March month of 2022, a young schoolboy of the Pandya tribe in Jharkhand, who was partially treated for TB of neck lymph nodes and is now forced to remain at home because of the active TB of the spine. In another case in the rural Chhattisgarh, a woman of the childbearing age had received antibiotics for a whole year until she was diagnosed with the extensive genitourinary or TB. However, by then she had been abandoned by her partner and was left with an irreparable condition of her uterus. At last, there's a famous philosopher of India, that is Rabindranath Tagore, whose birth anniversary is 7 May 1861 after 7 August 1941. Was a Bengali polymath who worked as a poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter of the Bengal Renaissance. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as the Indian art with a contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th century. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful poetry of Gitanjali in 1913, Tagore became the first non-European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in the literature. Tagore's poetic songs were viewed as a spiritual and a mercurial. But his elegant prose and a magical poetry were widely popular in the Indian subcontinent. He was a fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society. Referred to as the Bard of the Bengal, Tagore was also known by the sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswakobi. Tagore modernized Bengali art by spurning rigid classical forms of resisting linguistic strictures. His novels, stories, songs, dance, dramas, and essays spoke to the topics political and personal. Gitanjali, Song Offerings, Gora, Fair Face, and Garibari, The Home and the World are his best known works, and his short stories and novels were acclaimed raw panel for their lyricism, colloquialism, naturalism, and unnatural contemplation. His compositions were chosen by the two nations as the national anthems, India Janaganamana and Bangladesh Amar Sonar Bangla. The Sri Lankan national anthem was also inspired by his work, by his song Banglar Mati, Banglar Show has been adopted as the state anthem of West Bengal. Rabindranath Tagore says a very famous quotation. He says that the highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with our existence. Okay, thank you.